Right, so good afternoon. This is April 13th, Monday, almost 5 p.m. And this is the Finance Committee meeting of the City Council. And we're going to call the meeting to order at 4:59 p.m. So the first item on our agenda is a bond order. Come on
You want to do
in.
introductions or?
Do we need to introduce people? Kathy, your seat opened up.
Listen. See, she want all her budget.
Change your mind.
About it.
Do we want to introduce people?
sucker. It's okay.
All right, so we are calling the meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the bond order
Word for word.
to pay for the construction of the new East Springfield Branch Library. No wonder, Molly.
Excited.
And I heard about this.
Kathy? Yeah, no. Shows yours, It's. Well, I thought just to give you a quick summary of how we got here. The Mass Board of Library Commissioners has a public library construction program, and they run that every 5 to 7 years. So the last one that they ran was in 2016, 2017. That's when we applied for East Forest Park, got the funding, and built that beautiful library. And so they announced a 2023-24 grant round, and they did it a little differently now. So it's in 2 phases. So the first phase that we applied for the construction grant, and we were awarded phase 1, which was planning and design, and that was, we applied in May of 24, and we got the award in January of 25. City Council approved the grant and approved the application for grant. And so we completed the planning and design. We worked on that for about April of 25 to December of 25. And we had to get the design to the Mass Board of Library Commissioners approved level of design. So there's a lot of standards we had to get to. So we did that. We submitted our design and we were approved. Our design was approved by independent review committee, and then we got the cost estimates, and then we got the grant from the Mass Board of Library Commissioners for the second phase, which is construction. So that's brought us here. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yes. Then item 2 is actually about the construction grant.
Right.
So you want to talk about that a little bit? And first of all, I'm sorry, let me acknowledge our councils who are here. Madam President Whitfield is here, Council Jerry Martin, and Council Maria Perez on the Zoom. Go ahead, Molly, on.
Sure. Sure. The full cost, I can just go really quickly. The full cost of the project is $12,420,000 to $411,000. And the estimated, there are eligible and ineligible costs. The estimated eligible cost for the grant is $11,278,000 roughly, and that's about 61. That's about 91% of the entire cost of the project. And the Mass Board of Library Commissioners uses a formula. So our award is $6,837,061. And we are also eligible for a green library incentive when we finish the project and we meet all the criteria for a grant of $205,112. So.
Thank you, Molly. And I did see the news this morning talking about this. I was so excited to hear about it. Are there any questions from our counselors regarding these 2 items?
When do you expect construction to start? So we have a year from the time we sign the contract. That's what the library commissioners, which we're hoping to get in before April 30th. That's here tonight. Okay. And we have a year to do design development and construction for documents. And hope to start construction about a year from now and complete everything, hopefully in 2 years. We're predicting 2 years from now. Yes, calendar.
Does anyone else have any questions? Okay,
That's
this
great.
is an exciting project, and I'm really excited to hear about it. Yes, sir. Mr. Howard.
Yes, Stephen Howard, 1104 Withington Street. Their procurement for contractors.
There will be, once we get to finalizing the design. We get the construction bid documents ready, then it goes up to bid.
Are there any guidelines as to how much of the construction will be provided by local contractors or employed local people?
Well, I think that is part of it, but we have to, we send it out for a public bid and it depends on who it is. Yeah.
Mass bidding laws, we have
Yeah.
to follow mass bidding laws, so. It's pretty standard of what we're doing. It's
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. What else? Right, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm not sure if the next one is yours too, Molly. The MSBA school projects, a bond order? That
I'm sure she can wing it.
It's 3 schools for schematic design through the MSBA. So it's the Brunton School, Poland School, and the Van Sickle School. So Van Sickle, as you know, is a monster school, so it's a little bit more for the schematic design. So this allows us to move from module 1 in the MSBA modular 2. If it's 80% reimbursable, it's pretty close to 80% reimbursable. The MSBA.
You had questions, comments?
What do you mean move from modular 1 to 2?
Well, there's 8 modules that the MSBA sets up. It's very specific on how they move and the time frame in which you got to move between module 1 to 4
To E.
to close out. So it's our first step is organizing the team. So it's and all these designers and OPMs are assigned to us at this. We don't get to pick who they are. It's just the MSBA rules.
And what's happening at bowling? Isn't bowling pretty new?
Just a dagger in my heart.
Well, I remember I went to Armory Street School and then bowling came after that, so not that new.
I was on school commission when bowling came online, and that's 25 years ago.
I was trying to act younger than I.
So these school projects, they're gonna be upgrading the schools?
It's just roof.
Oh, the roofs for them, okay, and you still have to go through the 8 modules just for the roofs?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, okay.
If you go on their website, it's got a lot of.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Any other comments, questions? Great. All right, so the item 4 is FY 26 municipal ADA improvement grant of $250,000. Got this one.
Madam Chair. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So this is a $250,000 grant from the Massachusetts Office on Disability for us to complete a self-evaluation and transition plan. So this plan will review current municipal programs, services, and facilities, identifying the gaps that we currently have in those areas, then provide a roadmap going into the future. This is the first of a 2-part grant. This is planning, this will be implementation. We're gonna put out an RFP for vendor selection.
Thank you. Any
And
questions?
Commissioner Colton.
Yes, the commissioner will be there to.
Oh, you're nice. Okay.
Before, if you have any like specific ADA questions.
Okay, great. Questions from any counselors? Councilman Fenton joined us. I'm glad this is happening because I feel like some of our properties are not that ADA compliant, I should say. We are ADA compliant. All right, and the big one, number 5, bill of prior year for $748.93.
Take that one.
Oh, she might say that.
You got a lot of questions for that.
So this is a bill from the IT department that periodically fell through the cracks, never got paid. It was back from August of 24. So we need council approval to use current year monies to pay. This is Tyler Technologies, which is part of like the Munis. So it's
24, huh?
Right.
They must have really been
Yeah.
rubbing their books like, we need some money.
if they balance out and they do an audit, they find something. So we definitely owe the money. So we just need council approval to pay it with current year funds.
Great. Any questions, comments on that one? All right, and 6, order authorizing a contract term over 3 years for food service management company. Well, this is the one that I think that we sent back to committee, Councilor Martin.
This is a
And
big one.
Yes,
welcome.
how are you doing tonight?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. So we're seeking your approval on a 1-year contract with 4 options to renew. So it's 5 years total, which is over 3 years. The reason we're seeking a contract over 3 years is to increase competition. A 3-year contract will favor the incumbent vendor. A lot of food service management companies that come in, they have to hire 400 people. They have to train all those people. They have to bring in their equipment. And it costs a lot of money, startup costs. So what my understanding of the market is, in year 1, most food service management companies will lose money coming in. In year 2, they might break even. And in year 3, they're hoping to maybe have made that money back. A 5-year contract allows them to amortize that risk over 5 years rather than 3. So it increases competition and more people are willing to bid. So this came through the school committee as well. The school committee reviewed it and they're recommending us seeking the council's permission on this as well. We have our culinary and nutrition center, a facility up on Cadwell Drive. It's owned by Springfield Public Schools. We own all the equipment, all the IT. We also own the homegrown brand. That's us. And so we're fully prepared to select a food service management company to come in and have a seamless transition.
Yes, and we had a lot of questions about this.
Mhm.
Although I think it might be 2 separate issues because a lot of us were talking and a lot of the community talks about, they don't talk about the food contract.
Mhm.
What they talk about is the food.
Mhm.
And that's one of the concerns that I know I had because of all the feedback that I'm getting from the community, kids, and I'm not sure where I am in this. I know that I think the school committee passed it.
Yes, if I could so this has nothing to do with the current vendor, Sodexo. It has nothing to do with the audit that Mr. No did on the Sodexo contract. This is to seek a new vendor for the food service program. Any concerns with the current food quality, like that's ranking in our RFP. We're gonna have every vendor come in and give us a proposal kind of on how they would do it better, and we have some really strong ranking criteria. We have a committee of people who are gonna review the RFPs. Ayanna Crawford from the school committee, Liz Ogilvy, who was here with the council when we were here before, Jose Escribano in central office, Nate Madera in the food service department, and Christopher Sutton, who's the principal of Rebecca Johnson.
Are there any parents or young kids on the committee?
There's gonna be a student representative.
Representative.
The attorneys didn't want the student representative to be a voting member.
Okay.
Liz Ogilvy's a parent and Christopher Sutton's a parent.
Any questions? Yes.
Is there gonna be a tasting portion?
There's not gonna be a food tasting portion.
Yes. Okay, so, but Sodexo still has opportunity to bid again.
They do. They do.
And what happens if they win again?
Well, they're gonna have to get ranked and they're gonna have to get ranked on all that criteria. So if they win again, they would be here. I would be, with everything going on, I'd be really surprised if they win again.
But you have to go with the lowest responsible bidder?
The most highly advantageous bidder. So there's a whole rating criteria. So we have all the questions and we're gonna go through and rate all the vendors. This is per DESI's requirements. Anybody who's highly advantageous goes on to the price proposal. We've put a cap of, it's called a return, right? And they can return money to us, which helps us pay for equipment and some of our SPS costs. They can only give us a return up to 3 million. We're fully expecting every vendor to give us $3 million who's bidding. Then it goes back to the highest ranked proposal out of those. So everybody who's highly advantageous goes forward, but there's like an actual point score, and then it goes back to that point score at the end of the day.
Madam President. All right, Counselor Martin and then Counselor Perez.
I was just curious, so to my understanding, the school committee voted in favor, like as a recommendation for us to vote on this. Was there any pushback from any of the school committee members? And if so, what was their rationale?
I think the school committee's concerned with the current vendor. I think that they recognize the fact that a 5-year contract or a 1 year, so a 1 year with 4 options to renew, which means at any point, if we're unhappy, we could cancel. So that's a pretty big deal to everybody. They want us to be able to hold that vendor accountable. There was some asks on if we could bring in house, and I know Councilor Goban had asked that in the past. I know.
You loved your lunch, mother.
Logistically, we couldn't pull that off for July 1st. I think it's something we could consider in the future, but it would be a multi-year undertaking to hire 400 employees, create job descriptions. Our current HR department's not even staffed up to onboard everybody. We'd never be able to do that for July 1st. I think that this rating criteria should hopefully allow us to select the best vendor. And hopefully with the multi-year contract, we can have multiple people come in and bid on it.
So you're saying that potentially after this initial contract that we're looking at right now, after the fact, then we could potentially do that yearly like renewal thing, like overview?
Yes, this will be a 1 year contract with 4 options to renew. It totals 5 years, but it's a 1 year contract with 4 1-year options to renew.
Okay, now I see the distinction. Okay. That's my question, yeah.
Thank you. Counselor Perez and then Counselor Dakla.
Yeah, I think the question was answered. I just wanted to be clarified. Tonight we're voting on the process, not on the issue that we have concern about. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Davila.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pat, I was just gonna add that question. So we're voting for go up to 5 year with 1 year contract option, correct?
Yes,
So we go incrementing 1 year.
yes, that's correct.
So when we sign the contract, is that moving forward just 1 year to start with, or are we doing 2 or 3 years with an option to renew 1 year? What is exactly the details?
It's a 1 year contract, and they will come with 4 additional 1 year options to renew to total 5 years. That whoever wins will have the opportunity, if we're happy, we can continue renewing for up to that 5 years without having to go back out to bid.
Okay.
We want to.
Okay, Madam Chair, if I may say that I did attend the school committee meeting, which they were debating this, and Ayana Crawford, like I believe you might have mentioned, or Pat, is going to be in the search committee for the new vendors. I also want to say that I had the opportunity to go along with school committee woman Rosa Valentin, and we toured the kitchen facilities, and I have to say that I was truly impressed with what I saw. I believe that we serve anywhere between 28,000 to 30,000 meals a day for the kids. Excuse me. The operation, the logistics, and what really came out of it is the amount of work that it takes to produce one tray. It's really amazing. We then went to the Forest Park Middle School. We're in my district. We ate. We did find some issues with the halal food, but Pat got on that right away. And so, you know, I know that internally they're doing the best. With that being said, Pat, did we solve the halal issue at the school, at Forest Park Middle School?
Yes, absolutely. We followed right up on it to make sure it's labeled in the future. The halal options were there, they weren't labeled, so students couldn't identify that the halal options were being offered.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Pat. And that's all I have, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. And welcome, Superintendent Canali. A concern that I have, and I think a lot of us might have is the same thing, is that I think for the last 20 years, we've had this Sodexo, And I think last year was the first time that there was an audit. So all the other years, I'm wondering how much money the city lost because we didn't have an audit based on what we found with this audit. And to the superintendent, I guess we would, of course, want to hear from you on what your opinion is on just, this one is just authorizing the 1 year, which I think I like, authorizing it for choosing someone for 1 year and then deciding whether we want to renew them or not. That choice is gonna be big. So, Superintendent Nanau?
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for letting me know about this subcommittee meeting. Good evening, everyone. Chief Roach spoke eloquently and accurately concerning all of the pertinent information that we need to share in order for this subcommittee to make an informed decision. My only additional information would pertain to the fact that we do own the facility. So as Chief Roach already stated, it would be relatively easy and seamless for us to select a vendor who would most definitely meet the needs of our families and our students, as well as address the concerns that everyone is voicing at this time.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so, I think Counselor Davila is on the committee, and I'm not, Counselor, Cliff Bruce just joined us. Just thank you for joining. So I think that's probably the only item that might be, have a lot of conversation in the city council chambers tonight. Because that is something that I think we're all concerned about, so.
Be happy to come back to an audit committee meeting and discuss it in further
Okay.
detail.
Yeah, I think that'll be an ongoing conversation too,
Mhm.
definitely, but thank you very much for that. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Mr. Howard.
Yes, good afternoon again, and to the superintendent. I had 20 questions, but I'll only ask 2. One is, what will be the cost of each meal per student?
It's different because breakfast is different than lunch, is different than dinner, is different than our preschool meals. It averages about $4.50 per meal. But that's what we receive in reimbursement, and that's including Springfield Public School staff. That's including, we pay the city $850,000 a year to pay the bond on the building. That's including the utilities on the center and everything like that.
And this,
We do everything for that $4.50 a meal.
and the second question is, with the budget cuts, especially with SNAP and food for children.
Mhm.
How does that, I think it's something like $1 billion, I think in SNAP that's slated to be cut. Not mentioning the other aspects of it. How do those cuts impact the funding for foods to the school children?
So we don't receive any funding from SNAP, so there's no direct impact. However, our students are gonna get less food at home and they're gonna come in much hungrier. So we absolutely take that seriously, but it's not gonna affect our program at all.
Okay, but considering what you just said, do you see any way that, since children will be coming in, as you just said, children will be coming in without eating at home? How does that impact the foods program in any way?
We're gonna serve every kid who comes in for a meal. We're gonna make sure we have the best meals for them when they come in. We can expand our dinner program. It's something we've been doing over the past few years. We're restricted we have to serve food in a congregational setting. And like the dinner program is restricted to where there's educational, like enrichment opportunities. So we can't just serve food on weekends. We can't just serve food randomly at nights. It has to be at the school setting. There has to be some sort of academic enrichment program going on. But we're gonna do our best to continue expanding that dinner program because I think that's probably the biggest opportunity.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. And I think I need to make sure that you all know that I understand the magnitude of serving the lunches that you guys do, the breakfast lunches and apparently dinner. It is a lot. And you even do it over the summertime, right? We have the summer meals, which is amazing. And I want to make sure that we don't waste a lot, right? Because I think over the summer, I think I've seen some kids at the, especially in Indian Orchard where I'm at, where the summer meals come and they won't necessarily eat them because they're not, I guess they're not they don't look appetizing, they're not, I don't know, they just don't like them sometimes. So I'm hoping that whoever the next person is that we choose to run this contract keeps that in mind, so that's why I'm glad that we are doing the 1 year with an option to renew. Because I feel like that's a waste, even if it's just $4.50 a meal, 100 kids throwing away that food, that's like $4,000, right? And that's daily. So that adds up to a lot of money. So I just want us to keep that in mind, but commend you all for the work that you're doing, because that's a lot of work. And I don't know, Superintendent Delisle, I really would love the lunch brothers to come back somehow, somewhere,
Make a mean lunch mother.
Right, but I just envision, right, yeah, sometimes it can be mean, but I'm sure that, teachers can be mean too. So
Maybe I was
today.
bad, I don't know.
Be a bad girl.
Probably.
But this is something that I think we all obviously are taking it seriously. You all are taking it seriously, and I want us to just continue keeping in mind that, kids that we're serving, those are our priorities. And I want them to be able to eat, especially if, at home their SNAP benefits have been cut, so they have less food. Just keep that in mind, and that's the reason that, I'm kind of like up in arms about this. So thank you so
So I
much.
had a couple
Yes,
questions, couple questions. So the first one is, I know we have homegrown, where do those produce come from?
I'm sorry, the what?
The food,
The food?
yeah, itself. Does Sodexo bring it or?
Sodexo is in charge of all the
All-
procurement of all the food. There's quite a bit bought from local farms, Mi Tierra, Tortilla in Springfield.
Wellspring Harvest, you guys buy from Wellspring, or they buy from Wellspring Harvest, I think.
Buy some, I think parsley from Wellspring. Our lettuce comes from a hydroponic farm in Central Mass in like Fitchburg, because they don't have enough of it. Their volume's not big enough. I understand they do Bay State and Big Y and
Big
some
Y,
other
yeah.
places, but our volume of lettuce is so large, they can't meet our volume. But we'd love to partner with them more. But they do the purchasing. They use Cisco a lot, like Cisco's like that intermediary that kind of brings everything in.
So they just use the facility, the Springfield Public Schools facility to store it and prep it
Yes.
and stuff like that, and they create the menu and do all of that?
Yeah, so the recipes are actually owned. Believe it or not, these recipes have all been taste tested with students. So like everything's been gone through cycles, taste tested with students. We have a very diverse population and the tastes vary wildly. And we also have to follow the federal regs of like low salt, low sugar, low
Yeah.
fat. A lot of people like that. A lot of people don't. When you get a hamburger from us, it's a whole wheat bun. It's very different than if you go to the store and get a hamburger, right? The fat level is much less in our hamburger. Some people like that. They think it's great. Other people don't.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so that's it. If my council members want to make a motion are we gonna approve these? Should we go forward with, that's the only one that's controversial is the contract. What do you all think?
Not on this committee.
I'm just asking.
I am, but not.
And they're voting. Council Davila? So moved, okay.
Second.
All right, Mr. Clickers seconded. I guess we'll pass that when we go into chambers. So I guess I'll just call this meeting adjourned at 5:27 PM. Thank you all.
Thank you.